Anne Etienne, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make my homemade cherry barbecue sauce. You know, if I'm honest, I've never been a real lover of barbecue sauce. It's never made me kind of go weak in the knees during the summertime. I much prefer something with a little bit of heat and spice, which is why today I'm blending my love of chipotle peppers with Stemilt fresh cherries. You know, mixing the two together, that sweet and the heat and the tang, is absolutely brilliant for summer barbecuing. It goes great on pork, beef, chicken, or really, you know, right out of the bowl if you have a little bit of a craving. So what I've done is I've been gently simmering a large yellow onion and 2 cloves of garlic with a little bit of butter on medium heat. Nice thin slices. You know, it's that kind of smell that makes you feel, well, that you just need to try a little bit. Beautiful. So what I'll be doing is adding a little bit of fresh orange juice. Pulp-free orange juice is the best, really. And then a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And good old molasses. Can't have barbecue sauce without the molasses, can we, darlings? Kind of mix that right in. You know, if you're like me and you don't like to have a real sweet taste to your barbecue sauce, then a little less molasses will go a long way to giving you kind of a less sweet taste. Kind of mix that together so that you've got almost a stew, and immediately you can smell the molasses and the onion, the orange juice, and the cider. Give it a little taste. Perfect. Now, you know me, I love a little bit of citrus kick. So I'm gonna just put in a little bit, about half of a lemon, or quarter rather, darlings, quarter. Lemon zest right on in. And all this does for me is just really balance with that heat. A little bit of tomato paste. Kind of stir that through. It's good to kind of stir as you're going through the process. What that does is kind of give you more of a fully blended mixture and not something that's too heavy on one side. Now I'm using canned chipotle peppers that I found at the grocery store, and I opted to buy them whole. And the reason I buy the whole canned ones is because they give a little bit more seed and heat to them. You can buy the chopped, but really, darlings, all you need to do is kind of chop them yourself. Really, really simple. And they come out after you've chopped them a bit like a paste. So adding that heat in, it's got this beautiful brown texture. Love it. And then for the piece de la resistance, the Stemilt fresh cherries. Now I've pitted and washed and stemmed the cherries so they're ready to go. You can chop them up if you want. Because I'm going to be blending this in an immersion blended later, I don't really feel that I need to have that extra step. Much rather speed through this process and then enjoy the great barbecue cooking afterwards. Whoops, one that got away. Even raw, it's amazing. Okay, so I've got a lovely blended mixture here of garlic, orange juice, molasses, cider, chipotle peppers, fresh Stemilt cherries. We're going to cook this now on a simmering heat for about 15 to 20 minutes until the cherries just start to kind of mold down and break. Okay, so this has been simmering for about 15 minutes on a medium heat. It's been kind of rolling and bubbling, but not boiling. And what we've got now is a really dark red, beautiful blend. And if you look at these cherries, they're just tender to the touch. They're still too hot, so I can't quite tip into them just yet. But what you want is a cherry that you can just kind of push and see through. So what I'm going to do is pour this warm medley into a kind of a heat-safe glass bowl, so that I can use my immersion blender. You can throw this into a food processor if you want, but I kind of like using hand tools sometimes, just to mix things up a bit. Pop that over to the side. Now, if I was clever, I'd probably put an apron on, but I'm putting all my trust into this immersion blender. Kind of put it down nice and deep. This smells amazing. Okay, well that was a little bit like Corianne's wild ride, but what we've got is a really beautiful mix of chipoltes and cherries and molasses and apple cider, onions and gravy in here. Pop that over to here and kind of stir it through. Now there are two rules of thumb with barbecue sauce, so I've learned. One is to have it really nice and thick and texturous. The other is to have it really smooth. So, my darlings, as a mother of 3, I'm going for the easier option, which is texturous rather than smooth. But if you are looking for that, what you'd like to do then is kind of pour through this mixture through a sieve, getting all the sauce out, and then kind of continuing to reduce it with some heat until it's nice and smooth. But for me, this is perfect. I'm going to leave this set on the counter until it comes to room temperature, and then I'm going to pour it into one of my trusty little jars where it will look like this. The best thing to do with marinating, especially this time of year, is to be generous with your pork or your chicken or your beef when you're using this barbecue sauce. Leave it overnight with your meat to marinate for about 6 to 8 hours unless you do it in the morning of the barbecue. And then you've got a beautiful, tangy, sweet cherry barbecue sauce, courtesy of Stemilt. Happy barbecuing!